Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my February TBR, so all of the books that I'm hoping to read in February. Always in February, I like to read a bunch of romance books, obviously because of Valentine's Day, so I'm really excited to chat through all the different romance-esque books that I'd like to get to. But before we get into my TBR, I would like to talk about the sponsor of today's video, Luisa. So Luisa is a jewelry brand that crafts high-quality pieces at a very affordable price, with designs starting at just $39. Their designs are unique and elegant while also being long-lasting, tarnish resistant, and hypoallergenic. And that is really important to me because I am allergic to a lot of jewelry. I'm very sensitive to it, and a lot of rings tend to turn my fingers green. Necklaces will give me rashes. So learning that Luisa's jewelry is hypoallergenic was really amazing to hear, and it was really important to me. So Luisa sent me 2 rings to show off in today's video. So the first ring they sent is the Rope Slim. It has this really beautiful twisted design, and I was immediately drawn to it when I saw it on the site. It is just absolutely stunning, and as I was going through the site looking at their other rings, this is the one that kept capturing my attention, and it was one that I was drawn to the most. The other ring that they sent me is called the Zeta ring, or the Zeta ring. It's got like this quilted look to it, which I thought was really interesting. And I just thought this one was really elegant and beautiful and really interesting to look at. I really like the texture on it, and it's just really stunning. I've been wearing these rings for days now, testing them out before filming this video, and I'm honestly so impressed by the quality of them. They look great, they make me feel great, they look so pretty and so elegant. I'm a huge ring girl, so these just like, I just can't stop looking at my hands, okay? They're so beautiful, and you know what, my fingers have not turned green, so that's always a plus, and I'm really happy about that. So for Valentine's Day, Luisa is switching things up a little bit. So this year the romantic dates are optional, but the jewelry is a must. So welcome Luisa's self-love sale, because self-gifting is the new tradition. So if you've been feeling like you want to treat yourself to something nice, something beautiful, something that's going to make you feel really good, then you can celebrate self-love with Luisa this Valentine's Day season and treat yourself with the up to 25% off discount code that you can find in my description. Trust me, there are so many beautiful pieces, rings, necklaces, bracelets, so many things that you will be able to find in a bunch of unique and beautiful designs that you can treat yourself with this season. Make sure to check out the discount code in my description, and thank you to Luisa for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so now to get into my TBR, I'm going to start off with some of the adult romance books that I'm looking to read this month first. So the first 2 books that I really want to get to in February are The Hating Game and 99% Mine by Sally Thorne. The Hating Game is one of my favorite romance books, so this one is a reread for me, and honestly I haven't reread it in a while, which is why I'm kind of itching to reread it this month, especially if I'm going to be reading 99% Mine for the first time. I can only assume I'm going to be in a mood to reread The Hating Game. So if you don't know what this one's about, we basically follow our main character Lucy. She kind of has this in-office rivalry with her co-worker Joshua. They are really butt heads, they don't get along, they don't like each other, but things kind of ramp up when they find out that they are up for the same promotion and kind of have to compete against each other. But then the romantic tension between them kind of reaches a boiling point, and they can't ignore their feeling towards each other any longer, and that kind of just complicates everything since they are co-workers and up for the same promotion. So getting romantically involved is just a huge complication. I absolutely adore this book. I know it's not for everybody, not everybody loves it, but I love it. It's one of the first romance books that I read, and so it's just really special to me. I'm a little bit nervous about this one. I feel like if people do like Sally Thorne, The Hating Game tends to be their favorite. Maybe I'm wrong about that, I don't really know. So all I really know about this book is that it's a brother's best friend trope story, and that just sounds really interesting. So it looks like basically Darcy and her brother inherit a cottage from their grandmother, and they're left with strict instructions to bring it back to its former glory and sell the property. But then when she gets to this cottage, house flipper extraordinaire Tom, who is her brother's best friend and her longtime crush, is there to help them do the renovations, and it just seems like it's going to be a really fun time. I'm hoping that I love this one as much as The Hating Game. Okay, probably not as much as The Hating Game, but I hope I still find some enjoyment in this one. So I'm really looking forward to rereading The Hating Game and finally reading 99% Mine. While we're kind of on the topic of rereading books, I might get around to rereading this next trilogy, but it's not a top priority for me. But I thought that I would mention it anyways because I've been kind of feeling the pull to reread them, and that is the Brown Sister trilogy by Talia Hibbert. So this is a companion romance trilogy, so it comprises of Get a Life Chloe Brown, Take a Hint Danny Brown, and Actor Age Eve Brown. This is one of my favorite romance series ever. So each book is obviously following a different Brown sister, and I just love them so much. So Chloe Brown follows our main character Chloe, obviously, and she has a chronic illness, and she nearly gets run over, I believe, by a car, and she realizes that she needs to get a life. So she creates this Get a Life list, and she enlists the help of her apartment complex's handyman Red to help her complete the list, and obviously sparks fly, romance ensues, and it's really fun. And then we have Take a Hint Danny Brown, and this one follows Danny, and she's not looking for like romance or anything, but she does ask the universe for the perfect friends with benefits situation. Enter Zaf, who is a security guard at the school that Danny is a PhD student at, and he ends up saving her from this like fire drill where she gets stuck in the elevator, and he's like an ex rugby player, and people take videos of him rescuing her, and they end up deciding to enter a fake dating situation to kind of help out his career a little bit. It's super cute, and we all know fake dating is my favorite trope, so I love this one. And then we have Actor Age Eve Brown. Eve is a certified hot mess. Her parents draw a line after this incident at a wedding where Eve kind of brought down a lot of chaos, and they tell her, you know, basically you need to grow up. And then Eve tries to get a job at this little like bed and breakfast place, and she ends up running over the foot, I think, of Jacob, who is the owner of this inn, and he ends up getting in this bind, and she ends up helping him out a little bit around the bed and breakfast, and of course they end up falling in love. And this book has autism rep, this one has anxiety rep, and this one has the chronic illness rep. I believe it's for fibromyalgia, but I could be mistaking. It doesn't say on the back. So lots of representation in these books. I love them. They're super cute. I've tabbed them all up an insane amount, but I love them, and if I could reread at least one of them, I'd be happy. But I only want to get around to these if I've kind of read everything else that's a huge priority, and if I feel like doing it. So these are just a maybe. The next book is probably one of the ones I'm the most excited to read on this TBR, and that is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. This is on my 2024 TBR. If you guys missed that video, I'll link it up above for you guys to check out. But this book just sounds so insanely good, and I'm so excited to read it that me and Alyssa decided to make it our book club pick for February for the Besties in Books book club. If you guys don't know about my book club, I have the Twitter link down below all the time, so you can go ahead and check that out and join in reading with us. I am so excited about this book, and I think we're gonna have a lot of fun reading it. So let me just read a little bit of the description because I think it kind of talks about it perfectly. So the tagline at the top says 7 days to fall in love, 15 years to forget, and 7 days to get it all back again. So already a second chance romance. I'm obsessed. So it says Ava Mercy is a single mom and best-selling erotica writer who is feeling pressed from all sides. Shane Hall is a reclusive, enigmatic, award-winning novelist who, to everyone's surprise, shows up in New York. They meet at a literary event, sparks fly. What no one knows is that 15 years earlier, teenage Ava and Shane spent one crazy, torrid week madly in love, but they're pretending not to know each other. So basically, over 7 days, amidst a steamy Brooklyn summer, they reconnect, but she is wary of the man who broke her heart, and it just seems like it's going to be so good. I've heard nothing but wonderful things about this book, and I'm really intrigued to read it myself. Okay, so those were all of the adult books, and now we have a few YA books to end out this TBR. So the first one I added on to this TBR last minute just because you'll see when I read the title that it just feels perfect to read in February for Valentine's Day, and it's OK Cupid by Mason Deaver. Like, what is a more perfect time to read a book with Cupid in the title than for Valentine's Day? I honestly don't even remember what this book's about. I just know that Cupid was in the title, and I'm like, oh my god, this is perfect. You can think you know everything about love until you fall in love and discover how little you know. So our main character has been studying love their whole teen life. There have been bumps in the road, and they're currently on probation for doing something that they absolutely definitely shouldn't have done, but they're ready to prove they can make matches without getting too involved. It's just a job, right? Oh, okay, so they're like, the main character Jude is like playing Cupid. Oh no, Jude is actually Cupid. Oh my god, okay, I did not know that. I thought Cupid was like their last name. Okay, so Jude is a Cupid. So their next assignment isn't about setting up two lovelorn adults. No, this time Jude has to go to high school to reconcile two best friends who are meant to be more than just best friends. If only they were still speaking to each other. Jude thinks they've got this one all under control and that they won't get personally attached, even if one of the friends seems to be thoughtful and loving and caring, which proves that maybe Jude hasn't learned the first lesson of humans in love. It's complicated. Oh my god. This sounds amazing. This is crazy. There's so many more layers to this book than I knew. I'm so excited about this. I think it's going to be really interesting because it seems like Jude is trying to set up these two best friends, but maybe they fall for one of them, and that just sounds like a crazy chaotic time, and I'm really excited about it. The next book is Shipped by Meredith Tate. This is another one that I really want to get to and I've been thinking a lot about recently. So it's Rivals to Lovers. And I believe there's also the element of like secret identity where the two characters are talking online but don't know that they also know each other in real life. Yeah, so they start chatting online under aliases without a clue that their rival is just beyond the screen. I absolutely adore Rivals to Lovers and I adore the whole secret identity thing, and I think combining them is going to be really, really fun. This next book I'm really excited about as well. It's another reread for me, and it is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. So I've read this book quite a few times already, but I specifically packed my paperback duplicate copy with me when we came here to my grandmother's house because I want to annotate this book. I just think it would be so much fun to do a reread, annotate it. The only reason I can see myself not wanting to get to this one in February is if I'm not in the mood for annotating. I did just do a whole bunch of annotating in January, so I don't know if I'm going to necessarily be in the mood for it, but we're going to see. Heartless, Hearts. It just felt like a good book to read in February. This one is kind of like a Alice in Wonderland retelling, reimagining. It's about the Queen of Hearts before she becomes the Queen of Hearts and kind of what leads her to become the Queen of Hearts that we know in Alice in Wonderland. It's a really, really interesting story. I adore Marissa Meyer and I've been wanting to reread this one for a while now, so I think that this is the perfect time to do it, so hopefully I can get around to rereading this one. And then the last three books is another trilogy, and I was planning on getting to them in January, but I just ran out of time, so I'm going to be reading them hopefully in February, and that is the Rosetta Academy series by Sandhya Menon. So we have the first book of Curses and Kisses, the second book which is of Princes and Promises, and then we have Of Dreams and Destiny. So I need to read this before I need to return it to the library. I honestly might have to renew it. I don't even know when it's due. I've already read this first book, so I just need to reread it because I read it years ago when it came out. And then I never read the sequel or this newest book that I believe came out just last year. So I'm really excited to get to these. I think they're fairy tale retellings. I know this one is Beauty and the Beast. Honestly, I don't know the other ones. I think this one's the Frog Prince because there's a frog and it says Prince. So I think this one's the Frog Prince, but I don't really know what this one is. But I'm very excited. I love Sandhya Menon. I really enjoyed Of Curses and Kisses when I first read it, so I'm really intrigued to finally finish this series. But those are the books that I'm hoping to read in February. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up, and don't forget to check out the discount code for Ana Luisa down below my description for up to 25% off. Comment down below what you're planning on reading in February. I would really love to know. Subscribe if you've not yet already, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!